I'm Mariefiebach of feedyourfamilytonight.com, and today we are making sour cream caramel rolls. These are a special treat that I make for Christmas and Easter brunches. They're basically a cinnamon roll, but instead of having a frosting on top, you make a caramel sauce out of sour cream and brown sugar. And that's what we're going to start with. This recipe makes 2 9-inch cake pans. If you have a cake pan that is not very deep, you may actually want to make this in 3 8-inch pans. I like to make these in round pans because I refrigerate them overnight before baking them, and the round pans get heat better to the rolls in the oven rather than having a big pan and the out ones get overdone and the inside ones are underdone. So I've sprayed this pan with cooking spray. Then to make the caramel, we are going to add sour cream. In each pan, you're going to have 3 tablespoons of sour cream and 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. I'm just kind of dividing this in half. You're also going to add 2 tablespoons of corn syrup. And the corn syrup is important because it keeps this from kind of curdling, and you are just going to mix these ingredients in the pan together until everything is mixed in and all of the sugar is absorbed and you can't see any more streaks of white in the sour cream. This is what creates the caramel sauce for these cinnamon rolls. And it is ooey and gooey and decadent. Now, my family is split on this next ingredient. Half of them like nuts and the other half not the biggest fan of nuts. So a 1/2 cup of nuts per pan. I like to use pecans here. If your family is not fond of nuts, you can totally skip the nuts or do what I do where I make 1 pan with nuts and 1 pan without. Just sprinkle those straight on top of that sour cream and brown sugar mixture. I have here 1 recipe of my food processor bread dough. This is kind of a sweeter dough and it has eggs and oil in it, and it makes really great cinnamon rolls. I've rolled it out to a 12 by 18 rectangle, and the next step is to just pour 1 stick, which is a 1/2 cup of butter over the top. And then I take a pastry brush and I just kind of gently move the butter to the edges of the dough. You kind of want to do this quickly before the butter all rolls off, and then you are going to sprinkle the cinnamon over the top. It uses 1/4 cup of cinnamon, and I have it measured out here, but honestly, I usually just take it and shake it out of the shaker until the entire rectangle of dough is covered in a nice layer of cinnamon. Cinnamon smells so good and it's warm, and there's something about the cinnamon that kind of cuts through all of the sugar and the sweet of these rolls that just makes it absolutely irresistible. So again, 1/4 cup of cinnamon that I've sprinkled all over the top, and then we are going to put 1 3/4 cups of brown sugar on top of that. And you're just going to sprinkle that over the top, and then I just like to use my hands to kind of spread it to make sure that there's brown sugar all the way to the edges of this rectangle. We're going to roll up this cinnamon roll, and you roll it up the long way. And you're going to roll it up pretty tightly, and as you roll it, you kind of pinch it so that it stays firm. Some of that cinnamon and butter mixture is going to pop out of the ends. No big deal at all. And then you're just going to kind of pinch the dough to hold it together. And then we're going to cut the rolls. I like to cut the rolls with dental floss. I get unwaxed, unflavored dental floss. Now, some of you have been saying it's been hard to find the unwaxed dental floss, and if you find waxed, it's totally fine, but the key is you want to make sure that it's unflavored because you don't want that minty flavor in with these sour cream cinnamon rolls. Just put the piece of dental floss underneath the dough and crisscross across, and as you pull, you get a perfect cut on your cinnamon roll. Each pan is going to hold 8 rolls, so you want to cut this into 16 rolls. And again, if you have a pan that's a little bit shallower and you use 8-inch pans, you're gonna take those 16 rolls and put them across 3 pans. Once you've cut all of these, you're gonna bake them in the oven. And as soon as they come out of the oven, you wanna keep oven mitts on your hand. You're going to put a serving plate on top of the pan, and then you're going to flip it over. And what happens is the caramel and the nuts come on top and they become the topping of these wonderful sour cream rolls. The full recipe is at feedyourfamilytonight.com. And if you ever have questions, you can always join me in the Feed Your Family Tonight Facebook group.